back. You're famous now. Scream. You're a phenomena. You're part of this. And then like, so here's the thing. Here's a question I have. So everybody. So I write from these books about Hollywood and all these these essays, and I read books. I don't know anything about inside of Hollywood from the inside or anything like that. I'm just doing it from the nerd perspective. And one thing I always hear people say when I get into the sort of Hollywood rabbit hole stuff is it's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about money. Now looking back, would you say that it's more than just money? Like, is there kind of an esoteric secret society element to Hollywood at all, or is it still basically just about money from your perspective?
Ooh, now you're tiptoeing. Here's what I would say. Let me try to keep me focused here, okay? Because I like to examine things. So I'm going to answer it, but first I'm going to give you an example. So I fucking hate the term misinformation, and I hate the term when people say don't do your own research, okay? Because if you were on TikTok or the gram or wherever, I look and I see the best recipes for carbonara pasta, right? I love carbonara, okay? Or I see the best yoga instructor, right? So, and I'm doing a bit about this. Why is it okay for me to emulate that and get my own information? Oh, this is going to be such a good pod. I'm going to use it. You can use this clip. But why isn't it when it's something against some big narrative that it's a conspiracy or you shouldn't do your own information?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the bullshit starts. So people created the internet in the late 70s at Berkeley, but before that, they said it was with the war or the
Mm-hmm.
army did it, which I think it was a form of DARPA in the 60s.
Right.
Do I know that did they know they were going to let the genie out of the bottle? I would assume they did, but maybe not. So the greatest thing about the internet is that, right? It's peer to peer. So if you look at it, if we're all going down the 405, right? And there's no exits, that's the information you're getting. That's the traffic link. But if there's an exit every 3 seconds, that is what I call the do your own research, meaning all the geysers, the people like you going, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So what comes with that? Tell me if you're following me. Everybody is getting exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to put caps on it, right? Like, oh no, bullshit, 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 bullshit. So the greatest thing is we have the internet. It's supposed to be misinformation, but yet there's a ton of truth tellers out there. A lot of uh, people that are involved with things that are fucking crazy that are now saying, "Hey, I know this because I was involved," and then they try
Yeah.
to call them crazy.
Right.
So that's all the backstory philosophy of the mechanics of our world, right? So that's why I think every institution is falling because there's just too much smoke around it, right? So with Hollywood, I did a video of it. Basically, it's really simple. I know you do a lot of stuff on it, but mine was just an empire of their own, was the basic beginnings of Hollywood, started by 5 Jewish fur traders who created and emulated a life that they did not have, from war-torn countries in Europe, and that was became the Jack Warners and the Carl Lemleys and such, which started basically the 5 factions of our entertainment of Hollywood, right? So to me, it was a new a new technology like the internet is, or like streaming video is, and then I think it became its own industry. And yes, it's a business, and people love money. They love the glitz, they love the glamour, they love the sex, they love the hedonism, they love all of that. Okay, only probably trying to go in the last 15 years, really in the last 10, in the last, it got heated, but now you're starting to see more and more from people like you unearthing the darker sides. And I always tell people I've never saw anything illegal. I mean, unless you want to call drugs illegal. Uh, I don't, I mean, it depends on what your morals are, but I don't think I've seen anything really too much amoral. But I mean, I guess I have because, you see infidelity and you see people doing
Well,
things,
you
but
didn't get
nothing bad.
invited to the eyes wide shut ritual, is what we're trying to
No,
say.
no, never saw any of that. Never, you hear about it in like echo chambers, but it's like, is that real or whatever? And you're just doing your thing. You're just like happy to be an actor or comedian. You're a cog on the wheel, and you're going to the Maxim party. And yeah, you go to the Maxim party. You have a few drinks. You meet a beautiful lady. Hey, maybe you go home that night. It's pretty standard, beautiful, living the dream type of stuff. The next day you go to the griddle and eat pancakes, and everyone's happy, right? I mean, no. So the new stuff with all the stuff really got intense in the last 6 years, I would say. I think because of people like you, there's first of all, there's definitely a CIA compelling. There's definitely that's just not debatable that messages and people are picked to put
Propaganda, yeah, totally.
100%. But then there's definitely, and I didn't really know that either until recently because there's people that literally have been picked. And then there's other people that are just always in your face. Like, why is this person always in my fucking face? Like, no. There's also predictive programming. I 100% believe because there's just too much smoke with that, which then could lead into where you go, which is the regulation of the process and stuff. So, is there nefarious activities? Obviously, definitely, right? But was it just like casting couch and stuff like this? That's what people thought it was. But yes, I think there's a lot more. I think everyone, the housewife in Indiana is like, oh yeah, secret society, like it's out there now.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Making a cake, going, did you hear about that? Like, so I think it's secondhand nature now. But you're asked the crux of your question. I hope I didn't lose anybody on that. Is you're basically saying was Hollywood invented for that, and more, I'm starting to think that there's a big yes. If the whole thing is somehow some sort of ritualistic outplaying, if you will. And to finalize that thought is, I almost think no one makes it anymore, Jay.
Yeah.
I really do. All my success is in spite of because I'm just a normal dude, in my opinion. Of like, I can hang with you, but I can also go to the White House. You know what I mean? But I don't know anything other than the lady from Indiana who was lucky enough to go.